Soon. Today what we're going to cover is week 1 of our goal setting course. So this is a special course. I've had a lot of people over time ask me how to do this. We just did this with some of our high-level instructors, and the proper way to set goals and the proper way to make sure that you're getting your goals set up so that they're really the master skill of success is what we call goal setting. But you have to do it correctly. And a lot of people do their goal setting at the beginning of the year, and then they miss and they don't do very well at it. And I'm hopefully over this course of the next 4 weeks going to show you how to set your goals up correctly so that you'll really dramatically increase the probability of your success and how you set and you achieve whatever it is that you want to become. So we're going to get started here. The first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that your goals align with your vision. So what do I mean by that? Well, everybody has dreams. Everybody lays at night and thinks about different things that they want or have, and those are what we call dreams or wishes. And those aren't necessarily our goals, but that's where we're going to start from, is your vision. So what do you envision for your life? What do you want to be? Now, we need to envision our life in different areas. Sometimes it might be envisioning in the physical aspect, or sometimes it might be envisioning in the spiritual aspect or the financial aspect, or mentally, or with my family, or the relationships that I have. But I need to make sure that whatever area of life I'm thinking about, I need to really envision what it is that I want from that. Do I want a better relationship with my kids or my wife or my spouse? Do I want to lose 10 pounds or 15 pounds or get in better shape in this way? The example we're going to use throughout this course is setting the goal to be a black belt, because I think a lot of our students have that, and we'll be able to relate that, and then you'll be able to do that with other areas of your life. But you need to start with a vision. Sometimes when we do this exercise, people have a difficult time telling me what they want. It's hard for people. It really just is hard for people, for them to say what it is that they want out of life. And we need to help you do that. So I have an exercise. People are bad at telling me what they want, but they're very good about telling you what they don't want. So what you can start with is, when you're creating your vision, is just get out a piece of paper, and I want you to write all the things that you don't want. And you can just start filling that out. And I'm sure you can go on and on and on with things that you don't want in your life. You don't want stress. We don't want the extra weight. We don't want to be unhealthy. We don't want to be too busy for our kids. All those things, it's easy to list out what you don't want in life. That's easy for people to do. And now that you have that list that you don't want, you can then turn around and you can say, what is it that I do want? So once you have that big long list of what you don't want, then you can say, okay, well, if I don't want these things, what does that mean that I want? So it's a great way to get yourself into what is it that you want. Coming up with that vision, and I want you to envision that in your mind. So you can spend a little time closing your eyes, really thinking about, okay, what I don't want, here's what I do want. And the clearer you are on that vision, the better we're going to be in the future. So I really want you to focus on making sure that you are comfortable with that vision. See yourself in that position. See yourself, what that looks like, and where that goes. We're going to talk about vision a little bit, but before we go any further, we have to stop. And the reason we have to stop is we've got to do a little litmus test. Before we go much further, we have to make sure that your goals and your vision align with your mission statement. What's that mean? Well, for whatever reason that you exist, you have to make sure that your goals really align with that. And I'm going to give you an example. So Mrs. Babacati, one of our instructors, one of her visions is she sees herself in a Corvette. She loves sports cars and would love to drive a Corvette. And she knows exactly the color. She knows how fast it would go. She knows that it's a hardtop. She knows all of those things. And that's one thing that she envisions herself, and it's a dream that she has. But it's not really something that she's ever had. And the reason for that is because it doesn't align with her mission and her values right now. Her mission and her values right now is more about her daughters, more about her students. So rather than going out and purchasing a sports car and doing that, she's taking those resources and applying it to her kids' education, because that's what matters more to her, is being a mom and being great for her kids and seeing the success of her kids in the future. So even though she could probably go out and get a Corvette, she knows that that doesn't align with her values and her mission and her why. Her why right now is her kids and her students. And that's so important for her. So as you're looking about your vision, you need to say, okay, does that really align with where I'm at in my life and what I want and where I'm going in my life? You need to kind of assess that. If it doesn't pass that test, stop right there, go back, start a new vision. Okay? I want you to get your vision, but you need to make sure that it aligns together, because if it doesn't, you're never going to work on that. If you don't believe in what it is that you want, you're never going to go for it. So we need to make sure that your values align with what your vision is. Okay? So that's kind of our litmus test that we're going to do. So now that we have this great vision, the more time that you spend thinking about that vision and really getting a clear picture and being very specific about that vision, seeing the color of the car, seeing whatever it is, be very specific about that. So martial arts, the big goal for us is black belt. And a lot of our students want to be a black belt one day. It's a fantastic goal. It's a great way to visualize yourself. But you can spend the time just visualizing yourself, what it's going to look like on the day that you test. What's the testing going to look like? What uniform are you going to wear? Who's going to be there to watch you? What it's going to feel like to get that belt tied around you? What's the smile going to be like? Your parents are going to be there to take pictures. Who are you going to invite to watch you achieve that goal? What are you going to look like as you perform? All of those things can really help you envision your goal and help us with the next step. So once we have this vision, the next thing that we want to do is we want to ask ourselves a very simple question. And this is probably the biggest question of today that I want you to think about. You're going to ask yourself, what is true then that isn't true now? What is true then in my vision that's not true now? So in our example of becoming a black belt, okay, what material do I need to know? How am I going to stand? So maybe I have to stand a little taller. Maybe I need to know certain self-defense. Maybe my side kick needs to improve this much. Maybe I need to be able to break this boards. But whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're definitely on track and see what is the difference between what you want to achieve, what's true then that isn't true now. Once you have that, we're really close. Now, that may be your goal right there. It may not be. You may have to change it just a little bit. In our example, it may be, well, I need to be able to spar at this level, and I need to be able to kick and do this many repeat kicks. Or it may be, I need to be able to break a board. I need to be able to do a side kick where I'm sticking my leg and pulling my heel back and have the elements of technique. Whatever that is, that really gets you online and on track to get your goal. So we're really, really close now, okay? So once you have that goal, the next step is to say, okay, is this really my goal? Is this something that I can work towards? Because goals are things that you work towards. And later we're going to talk about actually the work behind it. But is it something that I can work towards and get? Or is it just farce? So we want to make sure that it's something that I can work towards and actually get to. So this thing that's true, well, there's work that's got to be associated with it. So the next step is to say, well, if this has to be true, what other steps need to be true in order for me to get there? What that does is we're going to take your big long-term goal, maybe being a black belt. That means that you need to be a recommended black belt, which means you need to be a red belt, which means you need a brown belt, and all the other colors in between. So those are our intermediate goals that we're going to talk about to kind of get us on the road to success. Once we do that, then we can break down even to smaller goals and our short-term goals. This is very, very important. So this step is very important. So we start with our big long-term goal, and maybe for us, since it's the beginning of the year, that's what goal are we going to achieve this year? And that's a great place to start. And then from there, we break it down into, well, what are going to be our quarterly goals? What are we going to achieve in the fourth quarter, the third quarter, the second quarter, and even the first quarter? So write those things down. Once you write those things down, then you can move to the next one, which is to write down, well, what are going to be my monthly goals? So now we're getting a little shorter. And that could be your short-term goal. What am I going to achieve this month? Well, I need to know this material to be ready for the next testing, right? Or the common one, weight loss. Okay, I want to lose 10 pounds over the course of this year. Great. Well, what are you going to do each quarter? Well, that's just 3 pounds a quarter. Okay, that's not bad. Well, how much is that a month? Well, that's just one a month. That's very doable. Instead of looking at 10 pounds, oh my, that's daunting sometimes. Testing for black belt, oh my gosh, that's very daunting. But if we break it down into, well, this is what I need to achieve this month, that seems much more doable in our mind, and we'll actually start working towards it. You could even break it down if you're really aggressive into some weekly goals. I do that for myself, and I say, what am I going to do this week? What are we going to accomplish? At our house, we have them listed out in all the different areas of our life that we want to achieve, and we list out, okay, what are we going to achieve this month? What are we going to get done this week? What's it mean that we need to get done? And that helps us keep accountable. We'll talk about that more later, too. But for now, we want to try and make sure that we're breaking those long-term goals into shorter-term goals. So this process is what we call reverse engineering for your goals. rather than trying to say, well, I need to lose 10 pounds, and that means I got to do this, and do this. Instead, you start with the end in mind. You've probably heard that before. And then we work ourselves backwards to try and make sure that we get there. So your assignment this week, this is what I want you to do. It's a 3-part assignment. Number 1, I want you to identify 3 areas in your life that you want to improve. So that could be physical, that could be mental, that could be spiritual, whatever you want to do, but find 3 areas. Next, I want you to create the vision and envision and really be specific about what you want to happen. Now, a goal is only a goal if you write it down. So this step, you have to write that goal down. Write down what your vision is for yourself. Write down what is true then that isn't true now, and circle that. Then after that, I want you to break that down into small, short-term goals. So at the end of this exercise, at the end of this week, you should spend 10, 15 minutes sitting down and really thinking about it and saying, what is my long-term goal? What's my vision? What's my long-term goal? What's my intermediate goal? And what's my short-term goal? Those are the things that I want you to have. Once you have those things down, leave us a comment. Let me know that you've done it. Just comment and say it's done, or say hashtag reverse engineering, anything you want to say. But let's make sure that we're making progress. I want you to do that this week. And then next week, on Wednesday, we'll do our next course where we'll start week 2. And in that one, we're going to talk about the next step, which is SMART goals. All right. That's our week for goal setting. Get it done.